Hello, everybody.
Welcome back to another episode of Mondays Are for the Nerds. I'm your co-host, Jay Wright.
I'm your other co-host, Tristan Stump.
Thank you for joining us as we recap last week's pop culture news. Did you do anything? I know you did.
Did you
do anything?
A couple of things. I finally got my hands on a Switch 2.
Yes.
Thank you, Cron Dog. So I've been playing some of that. I got Jay, as a belated Christmas gift,
Very belated.
got me a copy of Mario Kart World.
Mm-hmm.
So I have that, and then some other last expenses I didn't expect popped up, so I couldn't buy the other game I wanted to buy. It was just a $20 game.
Yeah.
But I do have Donkey Kong pre-ordered.
Nice.
So here in about 12 days,
yeah,
I'll have my hands on that.
Wow, it is coming up.
But Mario Kart, we'll just go right in my thoughts on that. It's definitely a solid 7 or 8 experience. Really, really good, but there's just some things about it that I'm like, Nintendo usually thinks this through a little more.
Yeah.
Which seems to be the theme with the Switch 2 is, Nintendo usually thinks this through a little more.
Yeah.
That's not to say I'm not satisfied with the Switch 2 or Mario Kart, but there's just some things where I'm like, there's a little more quality of life that you usually expect, and I think it's because they wanted this out so fast.
Yeah.
I'll be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Although with Mario Kart, I think it's just because they have some thoughts about how they design things that they're really wanting to force the player into that some players might not want.
Yeah.
There's only, when you do a Grand Prix, only one course is the normal 3 laps, and then everything else you have to drive between and then do a lap and then go to the next one. And there was an exploit online where when you did online and everyone chose random, it would always do a 3-lap course. But then Nintendo patched that out. And so random would now choose, they're calling them intermission courses, where it's whatever the courses between. I don't mind the intermission courses, but removing the ability to choose specifically what you want altogether kind of stinks.
Yeah.
And then I was telling you, unlocking characters has been,
Random.
I've unlocked, other than the characters you get for completing cups, I've unlocked one character there's 2 tiers of characters. There's the player characters and the NPC player characters.
Yeah.
I have unlocked one NPC. They actually updated, this is something they did. They updated the game that gives you more characters available from the start because of how bad it is.
That's right. You told me about that.
But, I mean, what they could have done is changed how you unlock the characters.
Yeah.
But instead, they just gave you more characters from the start, so you can just have a little more options while you're trying to unlock the other characters. So I've unlocked one.
Which one was that?
I'll show you. My Switch 2 is on right now, because I'll probably mess with it while we're recording. I'll try not to get... is this...
Coin Coffer?
Coin Coffer. It's the only one I've unlocked so far. And the thing is, it doesn't have the silhouettes of those characters. This silhouette right there indicates that you still have more.
Piranha Plant? Oh, that just means more.
Yeah, that just means more. That's the only one I've unlocked so far. Because I have had the Kamek item, which is what unlocks the characters for you. I've had the Kamek item twice. Or 3 times. I've had it 3 times. And the other 2 times, it turned me into Monty Mole and Snowman, which are characters you already have from the beginning.
Yeah.
So that's been a little frustrating. But those are my critiques. Driving feels different, but good. I don't mind the intermission courses just because driving feels so good to me. And then also people are like, oh, it's just straight roads with nothing to do. If you're playing on 50cc, I was playing online. Playing online, which playing with other players is like playing at the highest difficulty.
Yeah.
And we were all ramming into each other, hitting random people. You couldn't even aim because you were just hitting random people with items because you're all just so clustered together.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was chaotic. I liked it. I can see how people might not want that, but I'm also like, it's different. It's something. Every Mario Kart is something different. Has a new feel to it, and this is the most different Mario Kart has ever been. So of course, there's going to be some controversy.
Yeah. And
but
the detail looked fantastic.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I was watching you play it,
and I don't doubt that more races and stuff will be added in the future as DLC. I don't see them not doing that because look at how much money they made with Mario Kart 8 and its DLC.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then the Switch itself, it's bigger. It loads faster. I played Breath of the Wild with its Switch 2 upgrade for a bit, and it took my eyes a minute to adjust to it running at a better frame rate because I was in a grassy area, and you know how it runs in a grassy area.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what? No, you're supposed to be stuttering. This is wrong. A weird thing, though, is when I did my system transfer, everyone's save files and profiles that aren't connected to Nintendo accounts got brought over and deleted off my Switch 1. So when we go to play Super Mario RPG, we're going to need a new capture card because it transferred over to here. And that's if the save even transferred over, because it might not have because of not being on a cloud. So I might have to do some personal play and get us to where
Until
we
you
were
get to that,
when we finally, after 3 months, get back to doing Let's Plays.
Which, let's be honest, it won't take you long to get to where we were.
But yeah, so that is my week long, almost a week. It's been from Monday to now, so 6 day.
Do you really get into Mario Kart World?
Yeah. I've completed all the cups, so I unlocked Rainbow Road. Rainbow Road was gorgeous. Mm-hmm. Don't know if it's my favorite. Everyone's like, oh, this is the best Rainbow Road ever. I don't know if it's my best favorite Rainbow Road. I think Mario Kart 7's is still my favorite. Mm-hmm. Mario Kart 8's. It's too themed around a space station for me to be like enough of a Rainbow Road theme, whereas Mario Kart 7's is like you're driving through an asteroid field and you get onto the moon and then you're back onto the Rainbow Road, and it's a super cool track. Yeah, I don't know. I could keep talking and keep going, but there's nothing really. I haven't played the GameCube yet because I just haven't had time. I really have had 2 straight days to play. And then the other times it would have been like 30 minutes here and there to like hop on and do whatever. Yeah. So yeah. I am gonna have to go through, I think, and delete some games, because it just brought over all my games. I'm like, you could have let me pick and choose, and then I'll download them later if I want them. Because it, even if you go down here, has my games that I haven't played in ages that aren't even downloaded on my Switch 1. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. That is my Switch 2 rambling review. Yeah. The console itself, I haven't ran into, knock on wood, haven't ran into any issues. So, you do anything this week?
Not much. I worked and then practiced.
So I got the show going on.
Yeah. I did finish Indiana Jones finally. I picked that up.
That's good.
I finished it yesterday, day before, I think it was Thursday. I finished it. Really good. So good. I loved it. I went back to Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I told my mom, I'm like, I got frustrated because I would go to the map, and then I'd go out of the map the same way I would go out of the map in Indiana Jones, but this would take me somewhere else. I'm like, that's not what I wanted to do. Just get me back to the game.
I'm having that trouble with Mario Kart. Yeah. Jay saw me several times. I would press the minus button, which is photo mode, to go to the map, because the map in so many games is the minus button. Yeah. And
I had to like Google how to parry in Assassin's Creed because I'd forgotten since so long. No, it was good. I did completely 100% Astrobot in between. Like I Googled I only had like 3 trophies that I still needed to get. 100% in that for now until I get more. And that is all I did, except for one thing, which we'll get into. But yeah, that is all I did. Trying to get my releases.
Yes, sir.
In movies and theaters, Wednesday, July 2nd saw Jurassic World Rebirth come to theaters. Zora Bennett leads a team of skilled operatives to the most dangerous place on Earth, an island research facility for the original Jurassic Park. Their mission is to secure genetic material from dinosaurs whose DNA can provide life-saving benefits to mankind. As the top-secret expedition becomes more and more risky, they soon make a sinister, shocking discovery that's been hidden from the world for decades. I did see this Wednesday in a packed theater for 4 p.m. on a Wednesday. It wasn't quite sold out, but once we left, there were people lined up outside to get in, like in the hallway. I loved it. It's like my 3rd favorite, I think. It's below Jurassic World, but above the rest of them. I loved the love. Jonathan Bailey, did you see what I posted on Facebook?
No, I didn't.
Jonathan Bailey, he was my favorite in the movie, but you see like Grant and all this, and they're like dinosaur experts and scientists, and they love dinosaurs in their own way. But the way Jonathan Bailey like admired and loved and like adored dinosaurs, I was like, this is just me. This is me at a zoo. Like, there's a scene with the Titanosaurus, which I'm not going to go into more because it's not in the trailer. But I was like, I just feel seen from that. The raft scene, so much better than I thought it would be. So it was so intense. So intense. The good 6 or 7 minute long raft scene, which is not a spoiler because it's in the trailer. But they took some Gareth Edwards a lot. I was like, is he really going to do this in the movie? Like, is he really going to go that far in a Jurassic World movie? It's a lot more. They did lean into the horror a little bit more. Not as much as I feel some scenes in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom did. I give it about a 7 out of 10 because I do have my complaints. The D-Rex didn't really have much to do. It was there for like 20 minutes. But no, Mahershala Ali and Scarlett Johansson and Jonathan Bailey all were awesome. The boat scene was awesome. The raft scene was awesome. I was loving it the entire time. All the Quetzalcoatl scene. And I did tell you we talk about this theater etiquette.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Was it another room full of people that were just talking and being loud and getting on their phones?
Not really everyone talking, and I didn't notice any phones, but behind us were a row of 6 or 7 middle school to early high school kids who would loudly whisper the entire time and make little comments about every single thing that happened. And I'll say this, I wanted to strangle them.
Yeah.
If you talk during a movie loud enough where people can hear you, then...
Not that it's an excuse, because it's not just high schoolers and middle schoolers doing it.
I will loudly whisper, but I'll only do it enough, like maybe once.
Yeah.
For like one joke, and I'll lean over.
There is something to be said about the loss of theater etiquette that happened from COVID. Mm-hmm. The 2 years we couldn't regularly go to a movie theater somehow made everybody forget. I mean, kids, it makes a little more sense because... I say the middle schoolers.
Young kids.
The high schoolers should be old enough. They were in middle school when it happened. But like the middle schoolers, that was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's right when they would have been learning how to go to a movie theater.
Yeah.
And
they were like 7th grade and up.
Yeah.
Had to be.
But it's still like, ugh.
Don't talk during. You're there to watch a movie. If you're
going to loudly, because look, not that I haven't been those teenagers.
Yeah.
Because
I've done it.
When I was in a senior in high school, we went to a theater that is now closed, and watched Hotel Transylvania 2. Mm-hmm. No, not Hotel Transylvania 2. Pixels. We went and watched Pixels.
Oh, that is a deep. Wow.
So that wasn't even my
senior
10
years
year.
Ago.
That wasn't even my senior year. That was just that was my sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
And we went, and we were loud during the trailer.
During the trailer.
We wouldn't have been loud during the movie.
Yeah.
But we were loud during a trailer to the point that the lady sitting in front of us looked back and got onto us like a mom would get on her own kid. And we were like, geez, lady, you can look these up on YouTube.
Yeah. I feel like if you talk during the trailer, I'm going to give you like...
Yeah, there's a little... Like, I'll be slightly annoyed if it's a trailer I haven't seen before, but also it's the trailer. But, like, the trailers are for getting that out of your system.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, okay, I don't worry about it as much during the trailers. I'm like, they have enough decency, they should, to not do it during once the trailers are over. And they didn't. And I was like, be a real quiet scene. And, you can hear, she shouldn't have done that. Oh, a part of it, though, the Odyssey trailer.
I forgot that was attached to it.
It's physically attached to it. They have like the 3 trailers, and I'm like, okay, they're not going to show. And then it goes to like the green comes up again. I'm like, oh, what is this, the Odyssey? And then I see Universal, and I see Syncope, which is Christopher Nolan's, and I'm like, oh, it's the Odyssey. Dude, it looks so good.
Did you not know that? No, did you not know that it was attached to the...
No, I did, because I saw people online and be like, they go to see it at AMC, and they're like, we saw the 30 minutes of ads, we saw the Nicole Kidman thing, we saw the countdown, and all of a sudden there's another trailer, and we're like, what's the Odyssey? It looks so good. It looks so good. I'm so excited for it. It's like only like a minute and a half maybe. What I saw looks awesome. That's my reaction/review to Jurassic World Rebirth. On the streaming side of things, on Wednesday, July 2nd, Heads of State dropped on Amazon Prime Video. U.S. President Will Derringer and British Prime Minister Sam Clarke have a not-so-friendly and very public rivalry. However, when Air Force One gets shot down over enemy territory, they find themselves on the run and working together to thwart a global conspiracy that threatens the entire free world. Dora and the Search for Sol Dorado dropped on Paramount Plus, accompanied by Diego and Boots. Dora Dora embarks on her most daring adventure yet as she treks through the jungles of the Amazon to find an ancient treasure that grants a magical wish. And The Old Guard 2 dropped on Netflix. Andy leads immortal warriors against a powerful enemy, threatening their group. They grapple with the resurfacing of a long-lost immortal, complicating their mission to safeguard humanity. And on Friday, July 4th, Sinners, for the 10th episode in a row, dropped on Max. On TV, Sunday, June 29th, saw the series premiere of Nautilus on AMC. Season 3 of Dora dropped on Paramount Plus on Wednesday, July 2nd. And on Thursday, July 3rd, The Sandman Season 2A released on Netflix. That is all of my releases.
Buckle up for my releases.
Yep.
So we missed one on June 18th, which I'm surprised that I forgot to...
Oh, that's when I was doing notes.
Yeah, that's when you were doing notes. So it wasn't on any, because I also looked to update any things you might missed for the last 3 days that I was updating them because I was back home.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't see it because it wasn't on any of the websites that I usually use to mention releases. But Kindergarten 3 released on PC from Conman Games and Sean Young and publisher Smash Games. Kindergarten 3 is the long-awaited threequel to the Kindergarten series. Explore a new school with old and new friends and new ways to get ruthlessly killed.
What?
It is a dark comedy game series. The first two games were really put on the map by YouTubers like I'm not gonna make a deep cut here, but Jacksepticeye, and a little more of a deep cut for people. Cinnamon Toast Ken played them. At least those are the ones that I watched play it.
Yeah.
To this day, there's a character in the game that sounds like it sounds like Cinnamon Toast Ken to me. Like his voice, he did for it. He really didn't do a whole lot of voices, but just like his voice specifically when he read some of the way he read the lines, I'm like, yeah, no,
you just registered with
this
it.
Kindergarten sounds like a man with a southern drawl.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I don't know. I haven't seen anything about the thing that's weird is maybe it's because of the landscape of what games are played on YouTube and stuff now is I haven't seen this game make its rounds yet, even though it's been around for a couple weeks. You'd think by now at least one video would pop up, but I haven't seen anything. And then as far as this week goes, July 1st saw the release of Blood Rush Undying Wish entering early access on PC from developer Lightmancer Studios and publisher Nuntius Games and Vasu Games. Blood Rush Undying Wish is an extremely fast-paced hack-and-slash roguelike set in a gothic undying world. Dash, shoot, and strike with ability combos, weaving between enemies like an improvised dance. Death is gone, bring her back. And Mecha Break on PC and Xbox from Amazing Season Games. Squad Up and Mecha Break, a multiplayer third-person shooter offering players 3 game modes filled with high-octane ground and aerial combat. Pilot your striker into the breach and take on enemies across worldwide hotspots, ready for the ultimate showdown. And finally, Untitled Hand Game Titled Edition on PC and mobile from Ottersea Studios. Embark on a short journey no hand on a stick has been on until now and never again. Rummage through things, avoid being slapped, and hand stuff to other hands before they lose their patience. And July 2nd through 5th, I did not see. It was some mobile games and some like ports of like indie games and stuff making it to other consoles. But I did not see, and I can check again.
It's like the holiday season. You're like, yeah, I have 4 releases, and I'm like, I just counted when I got here. I also have four releases. And that's it.
And I'm just going to double check myself to make sure I didn't like glance over. But I did not see any anything this week other than those 4. So that is my releases.
We've never gone through releases so quick.
Yeah, no, it's usually
always like a bunch.
Yeah.
And my first batch of news, we got posters for The Wonderfully Weird World of Gumball for the 3rd episode in a row, Roofman for the 2nd episode in a row, Alien Earth for the 4th episode in a row, The Cat in the Hat, The Odyssey, Jaws 50th Anniversary IMAX re-release, South Park Season 27, Afterburn, and The Toxic Avenger. In terms of trailers, we got our first trailer for Project Hail Mary, releasing March 20th in theaters, Troll 2, December 1st on Netflix, Sentimental Value, releasing November 7th in theaters, The Terminal List Dark Wolf, releasing August 27th on Amazon Prime Video, The Cat in the Hat, releasing February 27th in theaters, She Rides Shotgun, releasing August 1st in theaters, Afterburn, releasing sometime in theaters, Relay, releasing August 22nd in theaters, and The Roses, releasing August 25th in theaters. In release dates, South Park Season 27 will release on July 23rd on Comedy Central. And No Country for Old Men and Unforgiven will be re-released in select Alamo Drafthouse theaters later in July, as both films have been chosen by Ari Aster as two of his favorite westerns that inspired his new upcoming film Eddington. In castings, it's been confirmed that Charlize Theron will play Cersei in The Odyssey. The Devil Wears Prada 2 officially confirmed that Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, and Stanley Tucci are all returning, and Kenneth Branagh has been cast as Miranda's husband. Oswald the Lucky Rabbit series has cast Ravi Cabot Conyers, Michael Michelle Harris, and Ryder Allen, as well as Amy Sedaris. And Street Fighter, for the second episode in a row, David Dastmalchian has been cast as M. Bison, and Cody Rhodes has been cast as Guile, and the rest of the cast was confirmed. As we previously mentioned, 50 Cent as Balrog, Andrew Koji as Ryu, Orville Peck as Vega, Noah Centineo as Ken, Jason Momoa as Blanca, Kalina Liang as Chun-Li, Roman Reigns as Akuma, and Andrew Scholl as Dan Hibiki. And in Good Sex, Tremaine Tillman has been cast alongside Natalie Portman and Mark Ruffalo. That's my first batch of miscellaneous.
My gaming news, we're going to start off on a little bit of a sour note. Microsoft laid off 9,000 people, heavily affecting Xbox and its studios, including, this isn't all of it because I tried to get all the information, but it was scattered and not one source listed everything.
Yeah.
But the studio, The Initiative, was shut down, and the Perfect Dark reboot was canceled alongside it. Rare faced multiple layoffs, resulting in the cancellation of their game Everwild, which has been in development since at least 2019. Further announced titles have been canceled, or further unannounced titles have been canceled. So games we didn't even know about were canceled. And then more layoffs at other studios owned by Xbox, including King and ZeniMax. So that's kind of... Yeah, and the reason, I can't even remember the full reasoning, but I saw Phil Spencer released a thing saying it had something to do with, as per the rest of the industry, we're stripping away layers of management to make things more efficient, or something like that. Whatever excuse they need.
To satisfy themselves.
And I know the economy sucks and stuff, but this was before the gaming industry doing stuff like this was before the economy was going.
Yeah.
So Brazil's Consumer Protection and Defense Program has filed a complaint with Nintendo over its user agreement clause with the Switch 2, stating the company can brick certain consoles should suspicious activity. This complaint requests the clause be removed, as many consoles bought secondhand are prone to be bricked because I guess immediately being used and then deleted and adding a new account or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not quite sure what the reasoning behind secondhand Switches bricking is, but they can potentially brick. So if you buy a Switch secondhand, be sure that it has not been opened. You're just buying off a friend or something, because apparently it can be bricked because Nintendo can flag it as suspicious. Same with someone's sister changed their username as a joke, and the username got flagged, and they had to get a hold of Nintendo support, and it's been this whole song and dance. And so, you know, earlier I was saying Nintendo usually thinks this through more.
Yeah.
I feel like this is Nintendo not thinking it through completely. Like, yes, I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to prevent pirating.
Yeah.
New games because of this whole thing. I don't know if you've seen online, but this whole thing of people being like, don't buy a Switch 2. I can just emulate it on my Steam. And it's like, I'm all for emulation and preserving games, but when it's a new game that's out and sometimes not even out yet and you're emulating it, that is costing a company money that, yes, oh, boo-hoo, it's a rich company losing money. It's one thing to emulate games that can't be bought anymore because Nintendo has done the big company thing and pulled away our ability to buy those games. Yeah. It's another thing to go out of your way to not spend money and get a game sometimes before it's even out and emulating it on, you know, like that's a different kind of thing where I'm like, I don't quite know if that stands for the cause of game preservation. Yeah.
Okay, what is bricking?
Bricking basically means it makes the console a brick. Can't do anything.
Wow.
So Nintendo will it'll pop up and say this console has been banned from all online features, or this console has been banned from anything. Jeez. Yeah, it's a little aggressive. Yeah. I don't quite like it. So it was only a matter of time before a country spoke up, and because of this, other countries will also be like, someone had to do it, and like looking and seeing what Nintendo's response will be. So we'll keep an eye out from that.
Mm-hmm.
In other gaming news, though, Super Mario Strikers was added to the GameCube Nintendo Switch app July 3rd. Nintendo has confirmed that the team behind Donkey Kong Bonanza is indeed Nintendo EPD Production Team Number 8. This is the team behind every 3D platformer since Galaxy, which you could tell by looking. Like I said last week that I could kind of tell, so nice to know we have confirmation. Bandai Namco held a summer showcase on July 2nd, announcing My Hero Academia All's Justice, a new arena fighter in the My Hero Academia series covering the events of the last season and arc of the anime and manga. The entirety of Class 1A will be part of the roster, which is cool, because I don't think the other games have all of them playable. Some of them are like assists or something. We got new trailers for Code Vein 2 coming out in 2026, Patapon 1 and 2 Replay July 11th, Toa and the Guardians of the Sacred Tree September 19th, Shadow Labyrinth July 18th, Little Nightmares 3 October 10th, Everybody's Golf Hotshot September 5th, and Super Robot Wars Y August 23rd. And we got new footage of Blood of the Dawnwalker coming in 2026, and Fakurum gameplay, upcoming character Fakurum, coming to Tekken 8, and a new trailer for Daima DLC coming to Dragon Ball Z Kakarot on July 17th, and we got a deep dive look at Digimon Story Time Stranger coming October 2nd. Helldivers 2 is coming to Xbox Series X and S August 26th. Strategic God simulation game Demiurgos was announced from Talon Industries, coming to PC. Hold Fast Nations at War is being ported to PS5, Xbox July 9th. Season 3 of Marvel Rivals has been revealed, highlighting upcoming playable characters Phoenix and Blade, plus Null appears in the trailer. He's like the villain of the season. Season 3 begins July 11th.
Did you see that they said they have the ability to add any game from any Marvel?
Yeah, someone like asked them if, are you going to run out of characters eventually? Like, no, they pretty much told us anyone that's been in the Marvel comics is picked. Now, obviously, people want to be like, Marvel used to make Transformers comics. It's like, no.
I saw that. The next 6 people I want to see, Transformers, Godzilla, Barack Obama was in there.
Yeah, it's like y'all. That's taking that too literally. I'm waiting for Howard the Duck.
Yes. Dude, that's gonna be so sick. If we got
get him to be voiced by Seth Green.
Yes, he'll do it.
Action shooter Full Metal Schoolgirl was announced, coming to PS5, Switch 2, and PC October 23rd. Plays a cyborg schoolgirl in the year 2089, seeking revenge against Japan's dystopian ruler and corporate empire, Maternal Jobs, and its zombified workforce. Primal Planet releases on PC July 28th. Night at the Museum horror game Night of the Extinct was announced. Survive a night in a prehistoric museum exhibit where the mascot characters come to life. Metroidvania 9 Years of Shadow is making its way to PS5 and Xbox July 31st. Muriel, a relaxing puzzle adventure from Quova Games, was announced. Follow Arya, fulfilling an ancient prophecy while exploring Sky Islands and their ruins, coming to PC. Open world MMO military shooter Reaper Actual was announced. Death Relives releases July 25th on PS5, Xbox Series X and S and 1, and PC. Destiny Rising releases August 28th on mobile devices, and Resident Evil Survival Unit was revealed, a new Resident Evil mobile game from Aniplex, Capcom, and Joy City. And that is my gaming news.
Dude, Night of the Extinct. Let's play it?
Maybe. If you want to put yourself through that.
Does it look scary?
Yeah, it's a horror game. I said horror.
Yeah, but I thought Night at the Museum.
It's not Night at the Museum. It's just Night at the Museum-esque because things come to life at night.
In a museum.
But it's got this Five Nights at Freddy's feel to it.
I mean, I'm down to at least try it.
Okay.
Until one episode in, we're like, no, we're not doing this anymore.
Noted.
Jay can't handle this. In my last batch of miscellaneous, we got in new looks. We got the opening sequence was released of the Wonderfully Weird World of Gumball. Got a new look at Predator Badlands. New artwork for the Xenomorph and Alien Earth. New behind-the-scenes featurette on the fight choreography of the Ice Club scene in Ballerina. A new clip from Lilo and Stitch, and Mark Hamill narrates a new video for the first rule of the Long Walk. In first looks, Project Hail Mary for the second episode in a row. Got our first look at Ryan Gosling as a teacher turned astronaut, and first look at Rocky the Alien. We also got our first look at the animated Cat in the Hat movie, which my mom was cracking up at the end. In box office earnings, 28 years later, for the second episode in a row, passed $100 million worldwide. F1, for the second episode in a row, opened with $144 million worldwide, which is one of the biggest openings for an original film in recent decades. Megan 2.0, for the second episode in a row, opened with $10.2 million domestically. And Jurassic World Rebirth earned $30.5 million in its domestic opening day. In Glen Powell news, for the fourth episode in a row, we got the first trailer for The Running Man. Which featured our first look at Glen Powell and a first look at Michael Cera killing people with electricity and a water gun. And it's also Cera's first film with Edgar Wright since Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. And we also got our first look at Coleman Domingo as the game show host and our first poster for it. In new announcements, Viola Davis and Yahya Abdul-Mateen II will star in and produce a reimagining of House of Games. The film follows a psychiatrist who gets caught up in the world of gambling while trying to help one of her patients deal with anxiety. A new sci-fi monster thriller, Saturation Point, is in the works with Cynthia Erivo and Michael Bay producing. The film follows a doctor who ventures into part of the Earth so hot it makes it hard for humans to survive but allows monsters to thrive. An F1 sequel is already being discussed. Jennifer Aniston will star in a new series inspired by Jeanette McCurdy's memoir, I'm Glad My Mom Died, for Apple TV+, which Jeanette McCurdy will write and executive produce. Tim Burton is developing a new animated film. Nintendo reveals they are working on more film and TV projects beyond Super Mario Bros. 2 and the live-action Legend of Zelda movie. And a One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest spinoff series is in the works, which will follow Chief Bromden after his escape in the film. I do have a couple pieces of miscellaneous mentionables. Fast and Furious 11, Vin Diesel says that Brian will return, and he also says it will return to the car culture and street racing in LA. Neil Druckmann will not return to write for The Last of Us Season 3, instead of focusing on Naughty Dog's video game future, including writing and directing Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet, and Craig Mazin will write all episodes of Season 3 himself. Coyote vs. Acme will have a panel at San Diego Comic-Con, which means trailer?
I hope so.
Question mark?
There has to have been
crossed.
one ready for, what, a year
now? Exactly. And for a next year release. Some of the costumes worn by extras and Sinners were originally made for the Blade film. Marvel Studios sold all the costumes to the production team behind Sinners.
This movie ain't happening.
No. Which means I feel like they should have let Ryan Coogler direct it. Tiny Chef has been saved. I'm like,
Did
I have
we
to put that on
even
here.
talk about Tiny Chef last
No,
week?
it happened. No, because I didn't know about it until like after we were done recording. They clarified they haven't been like picked up for new episodes. They've just raised enough money to keep making the stuff. I didn't know he existed until I saw the video.
Hey, if they have enough money to keep making it, and Nickelodeon does what to do it, I say negotiate to get your rights back and post those things on YouTube.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. And Lego news for the second episode in a row. We're getting a new Wicked set. It'll be Glinda and Elphaba bookends. It'll be 1,327 pieces, retailing for $129.99, releasing on September 1st, and will include actual minifigures.
Yes, let me see if I remember. It's Glinda, Elphaba, Madame Horrible, the Wizard, Fiero, and of all people, Fanny.
Yep. Which I was talking to Trey about it last night, and he's like, Fanny's in it? He's like, Bach's in there somewhere. I'm like, no.
No.
I told Piper. No Bach, no Nessa.
I said it to Piper. I said, it's weird that it's not Nessa or Bach. Those would have been the two, like, if you had to choose one other than those five, who would you choose,
Probably
Nessa or Bach?
Yeah.
And Piper was like, it's because no one likes Nessa or Bach.
Well, at the same point, why not include both of her little, I call them henchmen dudes, but
I feel like probably cost of getting, believe it or not, getting rights to the likeness.
Yeah. That is all my miscellaneous mentionables.
I got anniversaries. Anniversaries are finally back.
And I have a new segment debuting.
So for anniversaries, June 29th was the 20th anniversary of War of the Worlds, the 25th anniversary of Jet Set Radio on Dreamcast, the 25th anniversary of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on Dreamcast, and the 25th anniversary of Persona 2 Eternal Punishment on PlayStation. June 30th was the 15th anniversary of Twilight Eclipse, the 30th anniversary of Apollo 13, the 25th anniversary of The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle, the 25th anniversary of The Perfect Storm, the 10th anniversary of the Scream TV series, and the 25th anniversary, or the 20th anniversary of Wise, The Oath of and Felghana on PC, and the 20th anniversary of MS Saga: A New Dawn on PS2. July 1st was the 15th anniversary of M. Night Shyamalan's The Last Airbender, the 10th anniversary of Terminator Genesis, the 10th anniversary of Magic Mike XXL. The 10th anniversary of Ark Survival Evolved on PC, and July 2nd was the 45th anniversary of Airplane. July 3rd was the 40th anniversary of Back to the Future. July 4th was the 35th anniversary of Die Hard 2, and July 5th was the 20th anniversary of Facade on PC and the 15th anniversary of Shin Megami Tensei Persona 3 Portable on PSP. That is my anniversaries.
I have today in pop culture history.
So that's replacing birthdays.
Because we've gotten up to the point where I'd be repeating stuff.
Although Dad thinks in this new segment, because he was like, he's not doing birthdays anymore, and I was like, yeah, he wants to do this day in history now. He goes, well, he should still do like if a celebrity hits like a big number. If they turn 50 or if they turn 100, like you got to bring that.
Kind of like what we'll do with anniversaries, where it's like
if it's the big numbers, we should bring it up because next year a certain someone's turning 100 years old.
Yes.
So
Richard Attenborough, David Attenborough, I meant. But yeah, no.
That's the second time you've done that.
I know. I am so sorry, Attenboroughs. I love you so much. You're a big part of my life. Today in pop culture history, I do have one event per day. Sunday, June 29th, in 1998, the Lifetime Movie Network made its debut.
Huh.
Yeah. A lot of these I did not know. On Monday, June 30th, in 1940, Brenda Starr, the first newspaper comic strip by a woman, Dale Messick, appeared for the Chicago Tribune Syndicate. On Tuesday, July 1st, in 1984, the PG-13 rating was introduced by the Motion Picture Association of America. Wednesday, July 2nd, in 1982, it was dubbed the greatest week in movie history as the E.T. the Extraterrestrial, Rocky III, Blade Runner, Poltergeist, John Carpenter's The Thing, Star Trek II, and Conan the Barbarian were all playing simultaneously at the cinema.
That is a lot of...
Yeah, which I can't. I tried to think of stuff that's happened since then. I'm like,
we've gotten a couple movies. Like I feel like if you're taking film in like in college or something, a good few years from now, Barbenheimer will probably be something brought up just from a marketing standpoint.
Absolutely.
Of like the kind of lightning in a bottle. That's not, people, they want to it to happen again. It's not going to happen again because it's kind of like
they tried. I feel like if Gladiator 2 would have made more of a splash, you might have had it there with Wicked, but not much.
Anyway, yeah, that's a big week. Holy moly. E.T., Rocky 3. Yeah.
Blade Runner, Poltergeist, Star Trek 2, Conan, The Thing. Yeah.
You know, I haven't watched The Thing, so my first time, like,
Funko.
I knew enough about it, but my first time really seeing the whole plot play through was Funko Fusion.
Of course, they take liberties with that.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. On Thursday, July 3rd, in 1969, Lulu the elephant went off script on live BBC television's Blue Peter, making the first on-air animal blooper. On Friday, July 4th, in 2032, John Connor was killed by a T-850 in Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines. They had that on there. I'm like, I'm going to include this. And then on Saturday, July 5th, in 1954, the BBC broadcasted its first television news bulletin. And that is my This Week in Pop Culture News.
I got anime news. So there was Anime Expo. I don't have everything from it, but I just have some of the bigger stuff that got brought up. A second season / continuation of the Black Clover anime is in production. That is one of my favorites. Other than Spy Family, I think I have Spy Family and My Hero. Black Clover is what I have the most of in a manga series. So I really love the anime, and I cannot wait to see more because they did not want to do what One Piece does, which is One Piece catches up to the manga and then does its own thing for a little bit. And those stories are usually weaker because it's not based on anything that's already been written. And then that's why the anime is also so long, because they catch up and then they take forever to like, they let the anime or they let the manga play out a bit, so they'll do their own series, and it's a whole thing. So Black Clover, the team behind that didn't want to do that. So when they reached the end, they agreed to make a movie. I don't think it might be based on something. I don't think it is though. And then they haven't since 2021 really done anything, and now the manga is reaching towards its end, so the team has announced that they're coming back, and so that means that Black Clover, like My Hero, will be a series that ends on a pretty good run and will also have an anime encompassing its entirety of its story, which I really like. And it's also going to be manageable, unlike One Piece. And that comes from someone who loves One Piece and is currently still watching through it. Director Shoji Kawamori has announced the anime film Maikyu no Shiori, releasing in January 2026. The story will follow protagonist Shiori, a high school girl who awakens in a parallel version of Yokohama after she breaks her smartphone. Meanwhile, images of another version of herself begin to populate her social media. To stop her doppelganger, she must escape this parallel world. Sentenced to be a Hero has been delayed to January 2026 from its October 2025 release. Ella Seed premieres in 2026. An original anime, Goodbye Laura, has been announced for a 2026 premiere from Studio Kinema Citrus. This was originally, I think, announced to be in production in May of last year, so it might have been something I brought up. Created to celebrate the 15th anniversary of Kinema Citrus, Goodbye Laura reimagines the Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale Little Mermaid, reborn in modern-day Japan. My Hero Academia Vigilante Season 2 premieres in 2026. Rollover and Die premieres in 2026. Alya Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian Season 2 premieres in 2026. And video game developer Cyber Agent has announced a new anime project dubbed Project M. A Sergeant Frog feature film has been announced for a summer 2026 release. This is a description of the manga and anime series that the movie will be based on. Kororo is a Sergeant Frog, the leader of a platoon of warriors sent to conquer planet Earth. But when the amphibious invaders discovered how much humans enjoy dissecting their comrades, the troops scattered. The mission was aborted, and Kororo was abandoned. Now this once proud soldier spends his time wielding a vacuum, more than he does wielding weapons of war. It's a far cry from the glory of battle, but hey, at least he's got his own room. And though the invasion may have slowed to a hop, Sergeant Frog will occasionally yearn to overcome his karaoke addiction and reassemble his troops.
He's just like a stay-at-home, like
I guess so. He just like stays on Earth and gets a job, I guess.
He's addicted to karaoke. I love that.
I thought, man, if it wasn't an anime, Jay would love that.
I would absolutely.
One of these days we'll get Jay. We already know Jay will start watching. Jay will start watching anime in 2026 or 2027. Yes. The floodgates will open.
The floodgates. Hey, maybe not the floodgates. A flood window will open.
The Apothecary Diaries anime is receiving a sequel anime. This announcement came following the season 2 finale. They probably do that for the same reason Netflix splits things into seasons, where and the reason that Disney also does so many spinoffs with the same cast is we can pay you the same salary if we call it a new show and not a new season.
Yeah.
Sugar Sugar Rune is receiving a new anime adaptation from Studio Kara. This was announced alongside a new short to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the manga. There was a cute girl in the hero's party, so I tried confessing to her is receiving an anime adaptation. Believe it or not, that one did not have a series description in the article, but I feel like the
title says
one isn't needed. The Villainess is Adored by the Prince of the Neighbor Kingdom is also getting an anime adaptation. Same deal.
I was gonna say, did I get a synopsis?
Cloverworks' next anime, Grotesque with 3 Qs, from Itsugu Nishogori, will debut in 2026. The film will be split into 3 parts: Aliens, which is like written with the AE. I don't know what that lettering is called.
Yeah.
4649 Girl and Nocturne. En Set Nuit Grotesque. And the Let's Play anime premieres in October 2025. A second season of Gate is now in production. A second season of Cyberpunk Edge Runners is now in production. And Tajima Wants to Be a Kamen Rider premieres in October 2025. And that is my anime news.
I have a little bit of comics, not a lot. On DC, Superman for the 11th episode in a row. We got some new clips and a first look at Hall of Justice. We do know it'll be on a 12th episode in a row, for sure. And on Marvel, Ironheart for the 3rd episode in a row. The final 3 episodes dropped on July 1st. I did watch them at work. I love it. I was spoiled for the last episode.
Well, it's been well received enough that Marvel's already given the director another Marvel project to work on, I think.
Did they really?
Yeah, I thought I saw the director, or one of the directors. It could be multiple people directed it because it's a show, so it's got multiple episodes.
I think it had at least 2, but showrunner maybe.
Let me, if I can get Google to work. My internet's being wacky right now, so I can't do research on the fly like I usually do.
Ad break. No, I'm just kidding.
This episode is brought to you by Jay's Farts.
We're selling them at a local Spirit Halloween.
Okay, let me see. Ironheart miniseries, starring, based on, created by. Yeah, they don't even have a director up in the top because of the multiple directors. Chinaka Hodge, I believe.
Was given a movie.
Let me Google it. The showrunner. I want to say it was her, or maybe it was that they were considering giving her a new.
I mean, I'd be down for it,
depending on what it is.
Yeah.
But it was something where it made sense, where I was like, oh, okay, doing Ironheart, and then like another non-Marvel project she directed, like whatever she was going to direct that I saw made sense. But it was a random article that disappeared as soon, so I can't even find it on.
Yeah.
So
it makes sense. She did really good. There are some parts where I'm like, I can't say because of spoiler reasons, but I'm like, this definitely would have connected to something else that's upcoming, may or may not be upcoming. But no, it was kind of spoiled for me the night before I told you, and I'm like, Alden Ehrenreich was hilarious, and I love him. I love him in that show. Have you spoiled on who he is?
No.
Okay, don't look up anything about it. But no, it's really good. Despite people review bombing it, I think it's really good. Ironheart's a really good show, and by the end, I was like, no way.
And even people were review bombing it, but I saw the response to that review bombing was everyone rolling their eyes and being like, "Come on, the show's good. Stop that."
The show's good. The show's good. Anthony Ramos is the Hood, so good. The ending had me like open mouth and at my mom's desk. I was watching it on her computer, and like at school, and I was just like, "Did that really just happen?" No, it's really good. We got our first teaser for Eyes of Wakanda. And then in Fantastic Four, the first steps for the second episode in a row, got a new behind-the-scenes teaser, new look at the practical sets, new look at the team in their spacesuits, new look at the Thing with a beard, new look at Galactus, a new international poster, and as of this morning, Paul Walter Hauser will be playing Mole Man, according to the film's prequel comic. So I kind of figured once we found out that Herbie wasn't going to play Herbie, I'm like, he's probably going to be Mole Man. And that is all my comic book news. In celebrity deaths, Rick Hurst was 79. He played Cletus Hogg on Dukes of Hazzard. Jamie Swaggart was 90, prominent 1980s televangelist. Kylie Page was 28, adult film star. Kenneth Cully was 87, Star Wars actor. Maureen Hingert was 88, the King and I actress and former Miss Universe contestant. Michael Madsen was 67, Reservoir Dogs and Kill Bill actor. Sophia Hutchins was 29, Caitlyn Jenner's manager and I Am Kate star, dies in an ATV accident. Florence Delay was 84, a French actress known for The Trial of Joan of Arc. Gerald Harper was 96, a UK actor known for A Night to Remember and A League of Gentlemen. Lolit Solis, a Filipino talent manager, was 78. Bob Elmore, his age was unknown, American stuntman who did stunts for The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle. Saverio Indrio was 62, Italian voice actor. Julian McMahon was 56, you know him from The Fantastic Four and Nip Tuck. And Mark Snow was 78, composer for The X-Files and The New Mutants. My sources this week were Deadline, Movie Insider, PopCulture.net, Variety, Fuel Fest, Empire, Hollywood Reporter, Nexus Point News, Vanity Fair, Alamo Drafthouse, The Ankler, IMDb, The Wrap, Entertainment Weekly, and of course, Discussing Film.
My sources this week are Discussing Film, IGN, Crunchyroll, Video Games Chronicle, Variety, Windows Central, The Gamer, Nintendo Life, and official sites and socials of the studios and projects mentioned today. And tiered lists make a return. We're doing a funny one again. So we are ranking comic book villains, but like movie comic book villains,
for DC or Marvel.
For DC or Marvel, by how successful they are at selling Girl Scout cookies.
Door to door.
Door to door.
Door to door.
Door to door Girl Scout cookie salesman.
And they are in alphabetical order, so we'll start with Bane. Tom Hardy's Bane.
So Tom Hardy's Bane, I feel like would have a tough time. If we were talking comic book Bane, I feel like he might have. If we were talking Harley Quinn Bane,
then he'd be like,
Harley Quinn Bane would be selling those things left and right.
Yeah.
Because what it would be is, he's got like adopted Goldilocks or whatever.
Yeah.
So it would be like Goldilocks would be like, I'm having a tough time selling my cookies. And be like, oh, young Goldilocks, we've got to get. We'll
change that.
Bane will sell these for you. And then it would be. But no, this Bane.
Also, he's a big, strong, I don't want to say it, white guy.
Buy my cookies. And
buy my cookies.
Slam the door.
Yeah. And he might break a couple of doors because he gets angry.
Yeah.
I would say C tier.
C.
What were you gonna? Sorry.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, C.
Sorry. What were you gonna say?
C. Maybe some people would buy it out of fear.
Buy it out of fear. B, maybe?
C.
C tier. I think a lot of these would buy out of fear, if I'm being honest. Okay, C tier. Next one is Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. From Batman Returns.
Pre falling out of a window and being covered in cats and being revived by the goddess of cats or whatever. And man, that's a weird. It's a weird version of Catwoman.
It is. It is. I feel like she might do well.
Yeah.
Especially if she finds like a single dad.
She could seduce her way into selling some Girl Scout cookies.
I think A tier.
Yeah. Sure.
Was you think A tier?
Yeah.
Dr. Octopus. Alfred Molina's Dr. Octopus.
Before he lost his mind, I feel like he could
sell the crap out of him.
Sell the crap out of him, yeah.
And now he could hit 5 houses at once.
He could, yeah. If we're talking,
if they're right next to each other.
We're talking post No Way Home.
Yeah. Oh, because it's the same character.
He's smart. He's got all his arms. He's back in the Maguire universe. I really do hope that they just got transported back alive, and it's not that they just get transported back to the point that they
where they were.
Yeah.
He's dead. Honestly, if we're talking after No Way Home, he's like good now.
Yeah. So maybe it's S tier.
I would say S tier. I didn't think about that.
And this is if people get past the why is a grown man selling me Girl Scout cookies.
Yes, of course. Michael Shannon's General Zod.
D.
I was going to say D.
Is he even going to even try?
He's not going to try. He's going to get angry.
Yeah.
Green Goblin.
Green Goblin.
Oh, no.
Feel like this is a C or D territory.
I was thinking too, because he'd get, the Green Goblin would take over, and he'd probably kill someone.
Yeah, he'd be like, "Hi, would you like to buy my cereal? My cereal, my Girl Scout cookies?" And then, like in the bag, just behind him, like a hallucination of Green Goblin appears behind him, is like, "Lace the cookies." You know you must do it. Lace them.
They're already prepackaged. Oh my goodness. Oh yes.
He's like, no, I can't. You know you must.
You know you must. I feel like it's at least C tier because he'll actually try.
Yeah.
General Zod wouldn't try. Above or below Bane?
Above Bane.
I would say above Bane. And the last one, Helmet Zemo. From Civil War.
From Civil War.
Yeah. And Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah. I want to say...
He's smart.
In another universe, maybe.
He would help his daughter.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a
universe where he wasn't an angry, vengeful man.
Yeah. Dare I say B?
Yeah, maybe a B.
I'm thinking B or A, maybe. But I think he'd have the smarts to actually try. And also, he's unassuming. Once again, if you can get past the grown man, showing up at your door selling Girl Scout cookies, I feel like he could put on a persona and be like, "Would you like to buy some cookies for my daughter?" That is the 6th for this week. We have Dr. Octopus in the S tier, Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman in A tier, Helmet Zemo in B, Green Goblin and Bane holding down C, and then General Zod in D tier.
And I guess on that note, we'll see you all next time. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all those interactive things. Be sure to follow the podcast on most social medias at Mondays for Nerds. Me, Tristan Stump, on most social medias at Sir Stumpsalot and Sir Stumpsalot17.
And me on most social medias at PolarPanda001 or Chris M. Pratt Fan.
And we will see you all next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.